This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Last week, the Democratic National Convention started and finished. And if you watched it, you noticed that it was a collection of sober speeches, hopeful speeches. Hopeful not only in the way of the Democrats' vision for the future, but that vision doesn't include Donald Trump as president of the United States. Well, last night was a stark juxtaposition with the Republican National Convention's first night. Wow. If you watched it, you, like me, were probably taken aback by... Well, let's start here. We've witnessed Donald Trump and his goons over the course of the last almost 4 years. And every day it's a new low. Every day it's a new surprising, like, what was that? So you would go into the Republican National Convention, not thinking you were going to be shocked at the content. And that was just not the case. First of all, the entire affair is going to be mostly Donald Trump, featured every single night, and also Donald Trump's family as keynote speakers, and family adjacent, which we're going to get to right now. I mean, listen, if there was a sponsor, if they ran an ad, this year's Republican National Convention is brought to you by cocaine. It would have been a mind-altering drug that would have been a sponsor of last night's proceedings. We're going to start with Kimberly Guilfoyle. I'm only going to play a brief moment, just over a minute, maybe a minute and 20 seconds or so, of her speech, the end of it, just the tail end, to give you a flavor of just how nutty, off the rails, unhinged that it was. Donald Trump whined and complained about the Democrats and their pre-taped segments, pre-taped speeches, which there were a few of them, and there's nothing to criticize about, that's what it is. But in true Donald Trump fashion, just about everything last night was also pre-taped. Let's get to Kimberly Guilfoyle, the former Fox News host, and watch this.
America, it's all on the line. President Trump believes in you. He emancipates and lifts you up to live your American dream. You are capable, you are qualified, you are powerful, and you have the ability to choose your life and determine your destiny. Don't let the Democrats take you for granted. Don't let them step on you. Don't let them destroy your families, your lives, and your future. Don't let them kill future generations because they told you and brainwashed you and fed you lies that you weren't good enough. Like my parents, you can achieve your American dream. You can be that shining example to the world. Manifest and be the change in this country that you dream, that you hope, that you believe in. Stand for an American president who is fearless, who believes in you, and who loves this country and will fight for her. President Trump is the leader who will rebuild the promise of America and ensure that every citizen can realize their American dream. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and fighters for freedom and liberty and the American dream, the best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come! Come on, man. Listen, this is no different than the North Korea propaganda lady that they put out when they launch a missile, and she reports on it. This lady.
광명성 3호 2호기 위성 발사 성공. 12월 10일 평안북도 철산군 소해 위성 발사장에서 운반 로켓 은하 3을 통한 광명성 3호 2호기 위성의 발사가 성공했습니다.
Listen, there's a lot there. First of all, she's using words to invoke imagery. I mean, ineffectively, I believe, obviously, but using words like Donald Trump emancipates you. Trying to draw a correlation between Abraham Lincoln and Donald Trump. It's a fantasy. What else did I write down? Talking about words like destiny. The Democrats are going to destroy your family and future generations. It is abject nuttery, is what it is. It really is reverence for the dear leader. Because they're playing to an audience of one. They're playing to Donald Trump. No one else believes this nonsense. Even the bootlickers in the Republican Party, they just hold their nose and swallow it. They don't really believe Donald Trump is some benevolent benefactor of democratic norms. They know he's a despot. They know he's an authoritarian. They just crave power so much that they'll do whatever thing that debases them in order to show deference to him. So the other speech of note last night was from a watery-eyed, wild-eyed Don Jr. And I'm going to play the last minute or so of his speech to give you a flavor of that.
Imagine the life you want to have. One with a great job, a beautiful home, a perfect family. You can have it. Imagine the country you want to live in. One with true equal opportunity, where hard work pays off and justice is served with compassion and without partiality. You can have it. Imagine a world where the evils of communism and radical Islamic terrorism are not given a chance to spread, where heroes are celebrated and the good guys win. You can have it. That is the life. That is the country. That is the world that Donald Trump and the Republican Party are after. And yes, you can have it. Because unlike Joe Biden and the radical left Democrats, our party is open to everyone. It starts by rejecting radicals who want to drag us into the dark and embracing the man who represents a bright and beautiful future for all. It starts by re-electing Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Thank you, and God bless America.
Let me say this. If the country isn't open to everyone, Don Jr., how can your party be open to everyone? Your daddy, Donald Trump, has, with surgical precision, decreased the number of legal immigrants who can enter the country. A court struck down, I'm going to read from this article from Vox, a federal court just blocked Trump's attempt to quietly cut legal immigration by up to 65%. The policy would have made the goals of immigration restrictionists like Stephen Miller a reality. Donald Trump, and I'm going to read two brief paragraphs from this article, but Donald Trump has made it his mission, starting with the Muslim ban, making a wealth test for immigrants, that if you get here, you can't be on any public assistance whatsoever for an extended period of time. Donald Trump is looking for rich white people as immigrants. It's just the way it is. So it is nonsense for Don Jr. to stand there and say, our party is open to everyone. Reading from this article, if courts eventually allow the proclamation to go into effect, however, researchers estimate it would keep up to 2/3 of future immigrants out who would be admitted under current law. Based on projections of data from fiscal year 2017, that means the proclamation could bar roughly 375,000 immigrants annually, according to Julia Galat, a senior policy analyst at the Migration Policy Institute. Those 375,000 immigrants won't be affected at random. The proclamation targets immigrants who have come to the U.S. legally under policies Trump and his advisors often attack. Trump and his advisors, Stephen Miller, the white supremacist. The Republican Party isn't open to everyone. Just as the country, they are insistent to rebuild, making America great again. White. That is the America they want back. I mean, even Kimberly Guilfoyle in her speech talks about being a first-generation American. Her parents are from Puerto Rico. Puerto Ricans, for the 1,000,000th time, are Americans. This is the choice. This is the Republican Party versus the Democratic Party. And it is only going to get more nutty from here. Because you have Eric speaking, you have Melania speaking, you have Ivanka speaking, you have, what's the other one? Brittany? The other sister that no one ever talks about. She's going to talk. Tiffany Trump. The only one who's not on is his minor son. Stay tuned, because it's going to get even more kooky after this. And we watched Rudy Giuliani at the last convention screaming and yelling like a psychopath. They talk about the angry, dark tone of the Democratic convention, and then this is what they put on. That is right out of a propaganda film from an authoritarian dictatorship. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think. 714-576-4054. Daily at Dollemore.com. Hey, follow me on social media. Twitter, Instagram. I'm all over the place. You search, figure it out. Anyway, I'm going to sit through another night of this and see you tomorrow. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thanks for engaging with my content. Be genuine. Take care of one another.